Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome back to Quantum Break one last time for its final moments. As we make our way back to the Bradbury swimming pool, where we have the secondary time machine and the inevitable confrontation against Paul Marine. I forget how this specific confrontation goes, so hopefully it doesn't take me more than a couple tries. I do remember it being a little bit tricky, but I could have just been bad at the game. I also don't necessarily remember how many of just regular guys you fight, whether you have to fight waves of his regular soldiers before you're allowed to take him on. And I also don't remember exactly how it ends. I know that, like, you do stop the end of time, which kind of makes me wonder about Paul's visions of the future. Like, Paul only came to the Bradbury swimming pool because he saw himself there. So, if he saw the vision had to have come out of somewhere. No one will notice this Nissan taxi. I think that was a Nissan. Let's swing around the back so we could look at the...
Look.
Nope. Yep. Zero emissions.
I always hoped it would all pass you by without touching you.
Yeah. I get it. Come on. Let's just go to the future and fix this mess. Well, thanks for the ride, Cap guy. I hope you made it out of the university okay.
Alright. Also, let's see what's over here. Oh, yep. One more time upgrade. I only have 2 more Chronon sources to get. Let's see if I'll even be able to... Yeah, I only have 1 point right now. And I think I need 4 points to do anything. So at this point in the game, like, I could collect that, or let's see if I could collect that other Chronon point. But there would be no points to doing so. Alright, Will. Do your magic.
Wait a second.
Convenient. At the very least, convenient that he has the key. He didn't leave that in his briefcase.
It's locked.
And it needs
You
to
hit
be
the machine
locked
here.
in order for them
You
to
really never used
not
it
be
yourself.
able to get into it
No, I
years
didn't dare.
later.
Not after the men came out. It was Paul. He tried to kill me.
And that's interesting, because past...
Damn. Rusted shut. Jack, a hand?
banging open doors is what Jack is best at.
One more time.
There we go.
When Monarch came for the time machine at the university, Paul was trapped in it. He escaped into the future. Whatever happened to him there changed him.
Somehow he found my machine there and used it to come back to 1999.
And it was
And
still
founded
functional.
Monarch. He escaped from Monarch and became what he escaped from.
Insanity. I never should have built the machine. I should have left well enough alone.
Yeah, it's a bit late for that. You know, that I suppose that leads to the question, why did Will build the machine in the first
Just
place?
the way I left it.
What made him decide to pursue
works.
time travel?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you could assume that
We'll go to the future.
if you have
Little after
a...
your time of departure, before the fractures stop time permanently. I don't know.
I'm a little concerned about this.
It'll be dangerous.
Like, if you have
Of course it'd be dangerous. At this point, what is
a
it?
growing amount of
I'd
scientists,
be curious to try
you'll
this.
eventually have one that will want to try out time travel. Given an infinite supply of people, you will eventually have somebody who has an interest in a particular subject.
So this is what it looks like.
Yep, it's just the interior of a...
Hey, Jack. When we exit, it'll be a little past the point you were at when you left to save me. That's our window, when we know it can work, but before time actually ends for good.
It may not be much of a window. Monarch was sure it was imminent.
Like they're experts.
They kind of are.
Yeah, there's
They
only
know
so
you
many...
stole from me. You worry about your end. I'll worry about mine.
All right, Will. That works.
Yeah, I guess I'll
This
go
is
with that.
amazing. All those years, I never imagined it would be like this.
Yeah, it's like Will is criticizing... Oh, hello.
Hang on, Will.
And punch.
What the hell did they do with the time machine?
Okay. I was not expecting a big fight right out of the gate. But I'm okay with that because that is cool and very action-packed. Okay. Is that everybody? Nope. One more guy. There we go.
Will, I need to get him moving.
Ah, because when I immediately jumped in, it went into a stutter as well. Interesting. Also convenient.
However we came to be here, he's done. It's over.
What's going on, Paul? You look fucked up. Even by your fucked up standards.
Yeah.
You took the CFR, Jack.
I took it back. I don't care how messed up you are, Paul. You're not taking it from
I
me.
don't want it! I just want it gone. Forever.
So does that mean he wants to destroy the lifeboat?
What about your survival plan?
Fuck the lifeboat, Jack! We're just gonna let the clock run.
Oh.
Be done with it.
So this is how this version of Paul Serene reacts. Yep. Oh yeah, and I believe he like blasts you with stuff. But let's charge at this guy. There we go, and then let's dash into this guy and punch him. Yep. Almost got him. There we go. Oh, and now I have to actually fight Paul Serene. Who is... Okay, I got hit by a box and died. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I remember why this whole fight was a bit of a pain in the butt.
Will, Jack.
Okay, let's skip through that. Bring out the big guns. Let's dash into this guy. Nope. Please, people. God damn it. It would be nice if they didn't dash immediately when I dash. There we go. Alright, where is... Do I have to... Okay. I think I know what's going on now. But where is he? Where is he? Oh, he's up there. Where I can't really get him. I do in fact have to fight wave after wave of his own guys. Okay, let's run past these guys, punch him, deploy a defensive barrier. Oh, I don't need it anymore, actually. Oop, hello, nope. Nope, damn it. There we go. Oh no. He canceled out my powers. And then I got hit by Paul. Do I get sent back to the beginning? No. Is this wave 2? No, I get sent right back to the beginning. Okay, I'm just gonna skip ahead to...
Forget Will, Jack.
I'm just gonna skip ahead to wave 2. Okay, back onto wave 2. Think I'm doing a little bit better? No, nope. Let's outrun this explosion. Punch him in. Nope, that did not work. Where did this guy dash to? Okay. There goes that guy. At the very least, I already took out the guy who, nope, damn it. I already took out the guy who, cancels out my abilities. Oh. Damn it. Okay, I have absolutely no idea how I died there. Alright, let's... Okay, I'm gonna skip back to wave 2 again.
Forget Will, Jack.
Okay, so back to this second wave. I think what I need to really also focus on, for one, I really need to pay attention to when Paul Marine does that, because it appears to be a instant kill ability. The second thing I should also try to do is find one of these Chronon barrels and set it off. And then create a stutter, which hopefully does something. Okay, it does pretty much nothing. And I'm dead again.
Forget Will, Jack. However we came to be...
Okay. Brought him back to that. Let's take out this guy first. There we go. Get out of dodge. Let's... I want to say guys appear on this side eventually. Or maybe I just need to keep moving, and that's all that's important. Although, here's the thing. Like, by no means should I have expected a fight against the final boss of the game to be easy. But that doesn't mean that I have to gain an appreciation for enemies that instantly kill you in one hit. Alright, let's heal up. Come back at this guy. Wasn't there a guy over here? Oh. Hello. Alright, now let's go at this guy. And damn it. Oh, let's get out of here. Ah, damn it. Like... And the fact that you spend the entire time, like...
Forget Will, Jack.
I feel as though I need to be, like, way... Like, I need to be way more conscientious about one specific attack, and that makes this fight really stupid. Because I'm not actually having a big brawl against all these bad guys. I'm really just kind of like paying way too much attention to the ground to see, yep, there we go. There we go. That merged him with the wall. His mother warned him about that. His mother was all like, "Son, you shouldn't join that. You shouldn't join that monarch group. You'll just be shot into a wall one day." And he was like, "Mother, you don't know what you're talking about. That's physically impossible." And lo and behold, that's what happened to him. He just got
Shields down.
He just got shot into a wall.
Now we're talking.
Alright. Wave 1's done again.
Stop it!
Okay, let's get out of here. I'm glad that technically worked. Although now I've got... Yep, there is another one. Wait, is he doing multiple blasts? Yeah. It feels like I have to really hold on to my favorite dash maneuver, just in case of... Oh, hello. Where was that coming from? Also, I have no ammo, so I probably should try to find either ammo or find a different gun. Oh, gotta move. Oh, and then there's this guy. There we go.
You can still join us.
What are you... Us?
Who the fuck are you talking about?
Alright, let's duck behind this wall over here. Hope for the best. Is he gonna make another explosion? Yep. Let's get out of that explosion's range. Damn it. Okay. There we go. Was that enough? No doing it in threes? Do it in twos? And then punch! Your enemy has become a scientific abomination. How do you defeat him? You defeat him the Marvel way, by punching him. That was a grisly little smash there at the end. You know, it's not particularly violent, but it's still a little bit on the gruesome side. More so than you'd think, just, like, there's... all you see is the blood, but there's nothing really beyond that.
Hey, Will, hey. It's okay. Jack.
Jack, what were you able to accomplish in the frozen time?
Never mind. Tell me later. We got work to do. I'll have to hook up the countermeasure to the core. It's designed to hypersaturate the Maya Joyce field with chronon particles.
Sure, I'll take your word on that one.
Like an amplifier. That'll cause a chain reaction and rejuvenate the field. It'll be a universal event.
What do you need?
The countermeasure's charge is low. We'll need a jolt of chronon particles. A jump start. That's you.
So basically, he'd be giving up his time powers, but also prevent himself from, the chronon sickness.
Don't stop.
Or does Paul realize what he needs to do in order to help everybody?
It's like I'm pushing against the entire goddamn universe.
It's because you are pushing against the entire goddamn universe.
The countermeasure. It stitched time back together everywhere. The destruction couldn't be undone. The lives we lost were real. But we fixed it.
Jack.
The many, many lives of the people who worked at Monarch.
Come on. Come on.
The boat that crashed into the bridge while the people were on it.
I think we just saved the universe.
The train that crashed into the building.
Where's Paul?
He's dead. He's gone. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Will, he was wrong about everything.
Was he?
Will. The countermeasure worked.
Whoa. Countermeasure burned out.
There's no second use. Or is he now having visions?
Should be stable now. Of course, I'll have to run a few tests to confirm. But there's no reason to believe that the fracture is...
William, just look to your right, sir. Just pay attention. You're just so focused on your equipment, you're barely paying attention to to the one person in the room who has been affected by the fracture.
One more question. Paul Serene's entire philosophy was that time is a set path, and nothing can be changed. At the time, you obviously disagreed. But after everything you've seen and done, we need to know. What do you believe now? Was he right? Or is it possible to change things?
I'll come back for you.
And that's Quantum Break. Like I said when I started playing this again, the main reason that I wanted to play it, other than the fact that I've pretty much, let's see, so far I've played from Remedy on this channel, I've played Max Payne 1, 2, Alan Wake, and now Quantum Break. The only games that I haven't played is they did this racing game that I do not remember the title of right now, and they did Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which I haven't tried. And of course, Control. And I feel that I would more appreciate Quantum Break before playing Control, because I feel like, based on what I've seen from Control, it's much bigger, it's much more interactive. Especially with the environment. Like, the way that you use your abilities affects the things in environment and Control. And with Quantum Break, like, there's the environment stuff, but the environment stuff is always separate from the gameplay stuff. From the player interaction stuff. Like, you have these like, you can slow down the environment, but that's more of a puzzle type thing. There's just really kind of like one area in the game where there's a combat section that also has some crazy stuff going in the environment. And in a sense, you could almost say that this game is kind of like Season 1 of Preacher, in which, like, Season 1 of Preacher gets really ridiculous. By the end of Season 1, it's awesome. It's over the top. But it starts off very slowly. And for Preacher, most of that is because they took, like, 2 pages of a comic and turned it into a whole season of television. But for Quantum Break, I feel that, like, with this, I feel they were trying to establish a foundation for the world, for the storyline, for the time traveling. And what's missing is Quantum Break 2, the sequel that really kind of pushes the boundaries as to what would be possible with the fracture, with the time travel, with the shifters. Because there are a lot of things missing from this game, from the storyline, should I say, that you don't get to see. You don't get to see the end of time. You don't get to see a fight against the shifters. Like, all of these things kind of are seen outside of your perspective. I would also say, after playing this game again, I feel as though it's possibly too heavy on the narrative aspects of it. Like, there's the in-game narrative told through cutscenes, through character dialogue. There's the documentation that you find lying around. And then there's the TV show. And I feel that, like, the problem with game development, problem with creating features, is if you spend money on something, that means you can't spend money on something else. Like, if they spent money, if they decided to go against the live action show, and then instead spent money on, say, developing more content for the game, could there have been an additional section that you'd have been playing through as opposed to just watching this TV show? But then that's kind of like the point of the game. The point of the game is to kind of like say, like, what can we do? What can they do with narrative design in a video game? Instead of just the usual expected, like, how can you change how you perceive the characters in the story? And the TV show does manage to do something that most video games can't do, and that is kind of like give you a sense of these minor characters. Like, consider other games like Gears of War, or Halo or Call of Duty, where the point of view of the character usually never leaves like 1 or 2 or 3 people. Or consider, how about just consider Remedy's games, Alan Wake, Max Payne. Upcoming, I guess it's not really upcoming because it's out of Control. They all focus on these singular characters, Max, Alan, Jesse. Think of like the secondary characters in Max Payne. Like there's in Max Payne 2, you have characters like Mona Sachs, you have Vlad, you have, I forgot the mobster's name, I forgot the mobster's name who collects toys. But you usually have very specific perspectives of them based on how Max interacts with them. So, like, if the one example that comes to mind is generally the character of Saren, the villain Saren from from Mass Effect 1. You see him once at the beginning, or should I say twice at the beginning. Once when he kills Nihilus, and once at the trial, where he's like, these humans, they don't even know what they're doing around here. They've always been an enemy of me. You see him react after he discovers that the humans have interacted with the artifact. Then there's nothing from Saren for like half the game. And you encounter him on at this kind of like facility where they're testing out the Reaper's ability to mind control people. And you confront him there, and then there's nothing. And then you confront him at the end. But your perspective of Saren as a character is very limited. You only, most of the time, whenever you hear about his history, it's always through other characters. And this live-action show, it allows you to see those other characters. Like Charlie would not have had that same character arc if it was only seen from the point of Jack Joyce. Or a bigger problem, he would have had that character arc, but it would have been entirely told through text documents. And that would have, that would have been even worse, because then you just had to stop even more often to pick up random things in the environment. And that would also assume that the narrative that you discover is like, okay, that's what you found out, so that's the character development you get. Like, think about like BioShock. In BioShock, you find the various audio logs throughout Rapture. If you don't collect the audio logs, then you're going to miss out on a lot of that backstory, that setting, which you could say is it arguable that you can, like, imagine playing BioShock and just skipping the audio logs. Just saying, you know what? I don't need to know this backstory. I'm here in this underwater city. I got my gun. I got my superpowers. I'm just gonna kill some splicers. So in that matter, ignorance is bliss. But like here, all of that secondary information also helps like explain, okay, what is going on? What is the fracture? What is the lifeboat? Charlie had a stunt double? What kind of stunts did he do? Anyway, like it's all there to kind of give you that like Martin Hatch. Martin Hatch is prominent in a lot of the TV show, but you don't exactly, like, he's never actually seen by, depending on the choices you make, he might actually never be seen by the main character. Because you only get to that one specific junction where you can choose to either have Paul Marine confront Jack, or have Martin confront Jack so Paul can deliver the speech. And his character can just completely disappear from the plot if the story was told directly through if the story only followed Jack and did not diverge. So, like, with this kind of like TV show formula, it allows more of like a complete story to be told. Although at the same time, I also feel as though like the actual gameplay, the actual parts where you're fighting guys, where you're maneuvering around areas, it becomes more limited because they're spending more time diverting resources towards that additional story. Either way, I still had a good time playing it again. I wish that you were able to actually install the TV show videos on the hard drive rather than stream it, because streaming it does not function very well. Just constant buffering, non-stop
You've been
buffering.
very patient with us, and very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that patience is starting to wear pretty thin.
Of course. Right outside.
Mr. Joyce.
And Martin Hatch is still alive.
Finally. Thought you wanted to talk, not get my life story.
Well, you were at the heart of all of this. And you can understand our need to find out exactly what happened.
I heard it's all being pinned on Paul. It's quite the feat.
Paul Serene always danced to his own tune, you know that. He and his delusions did tremendous damage to Monarch. But we can still salvage this company. We could use a man like you. It's not the same Monarch you know, Mr. Joyce. Your exceptional qualities are obvious, and we both know you have certain needs our expertise could help with. We can help each other.
This is true. And now he's getting his own junction point. But alas, much like Alan Wake was for the longest time, it appears there's not going to be a Quantum Break 2. Which is too bad, because the story is actually interesting. Who knows? It's maybe too early to say never. Remedy's recently acquired the rights to Alan Wake again, so there's a chance for a sequel to that. Maybe one day there'll be a sequel to Quantum Break. Who knows? In the meantime, so long, folks. Thank you for watching. Questions, comments, recommendations for something to play next? Comment down below or send it on over to itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. That's itsoundedgoodonpaper@gmail.com. So long for now.